here now.
Oh, all right.
And we are live, coming to you from the dirty South, Winston-Salem. We got my man Joe from the Great White North over here. Hitman decided to come back. I thought we were just going to have cheer. Oh, he's got the plunger. Did you pack it?
I have to fix my. Did my video just flip over?
Yeah.
Really?
We had a little.
Hold on.
We had a little issue in the house Saturday because that was our pizza night because we didn't get any till on the Thursday. So we had pizza night. And was it pizza night when you had the – yeah. So we got Battery. What's up, Battery? No, you weren't there for the pizza.
Okay. I was like, that was Saturday night.
Yeah. Lou Rock, sup, homie? Still trying to go home, waiting for flight home in 30 minutes.
Ooh.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
I bet you it was nobody at the IX Center today. Probably easy to get around. No food lines. Could just go to the bathroom. Yeah. I do want to start off as I was there Sunday. I was there from the time they actually let VIPs in at 9. And they let general admission in not too long after that. It was very empty in there. It was probably the quietest Sunday. Oh, okay. Probably the quietest Sunday that I've probably ever seen at the National. It was not desolate, but it was quiet. After Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning, it was. And I kind of felt that way because how empty it got Saturday afternoon. Did you? I mean, what time did you leave, Joe? Like at noon on Saturday?
Yeah, noon.
It felt like everybody else left with you. It was very, very quiet in there, and you were there on Saturday, right, Hitman? I'm getting my days running.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was there
you
all
left
day
Sunday
Saturday.
morning early, right?
Yeah, we stayed to the 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, so I mean, you were there. It got pretty quiet Saturday.
Yeah, it did. It thinned out quite nicely on Saturday afternoon. It wasn't as, yeah, for sure.
You can actually walk up to tables. I was on the old side, the dark side, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I don't know why I called it the vintage side, even though it wasn't. I don't know why.
It was the older. If you go to the it was the same guys that are at every national setup.
Gotcha.
Over there, so it's a lot of vintage over there, and that's what I was there for. So I was really combing through those tables hard. I finally on Saturday evening, Sunday started getting to the other side. But Sunday I ended up being in the. Hello, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
We got Hodges in the house. Great to meet you. Thursday night at the get together. The get together. How awesome was that,
dude? That was awesome. The get together was.
I mean,
awesome.
Everybody was there.
How many people? I want to know. Was it like 200? It felt like was there like 200 people there? I don't know.
I think it was more than 200 because we estimated last year at the hangout was probably about 200 coming in and out. It wasn't too much coming in and out at this one. This was where because we had to travel, not far. I mean, it was right there. But, it was about. It had to be at least 200. Mike said it felt like 8,000. Are you getting on, Mike, or what are we doing here?
Yeah, what's he doing, man? What's going on? Come on, Mike.
What are you doing there, Mike? I mean,
he's crying because the Phillies are losing.
Oh, he's probably trying to watch. What inning are he in? He's probably watching the game.
It's 5-3, 5-2 right now. I can't see. I'm blind.
Oh, okay. What's up, John? 3D80s kids. Great meeting you.
Yes, John.
Actually,
absolutely.
meet you face to face and talking, not backstage waiting for a live or something like that. I need to get you on here one time. We'll talk a little 80s stuff. That'd be great. Yeah, so it was weird Saturday evening and Sunday. Mike O, he was trying to get those packs all week. He walked over Sunday around noonish, texted me and said they have plenty of packs, Pops baseball, for silver packs. You could just walk up, get them, no line.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. We remarked there was no lines for the food. There was a line for that one bathroom that was by the food place. So you either had to go to the back corner or go downstairs. I went downstairs and one by the escalator had no one in there. It was a ghost town downstairs.
I would love one year to stay till Sunday, stay for Sunday. That would be kind of cool.
I'm telling you,
like that.
So Sunday, I was kind of looking for more bargains. I was going through tables. I did pick up this was probably my best year for Gary Carter hunting stuff, which I'll talk about more Wednesday. But so a guy had a stack of Gary Carter autographs, and I've never seen this picture. So I picked up this one. And it was 50, and usually they go from anywhere from 120 to 150.
Wow.
And of course I had to ask for a discount. He said, "Man, I already got them marked up." It's like, yeah, I see that.
You got to give it a shot, man.
Yeah, and then I got the Howard Johnson for $10. I was like, "Thank you very much," and I walked away very happy. I'm one of a few very Howard Johnson. We almost had Mike face. Mike was telling Mike O, people were telling him he needed his face to be on here. My goal is to have money left for Sunday. Yeah, I actually came home with money in my pocket to put away for next year's show.
That's awesome.
Win.
Huh?
I said you win then.
Yeah, I won.
Yeah,
I won. Even though I did buy wax, which I didn't really want to do, but when I found out they were Star Wars silver packs, they got me. And I thought this, even though I don't even know what was in there. There we go.
It's Bowie. He likes to come live sometimes.
That's fine. Always welcome. The Star Wars silver, those are very nice. Lou Rock said I failed my mission.
You got some good stuff, man. You got some good Star Wars stuff for sure.
Just heard that Comcast and Valley Sports are finally ending the blackouts.
Oh, that's good. Now I can start at least watching some Rays games.
Right. So that's good to hear. So Mike, you were there. You filmed them closing up. My one question for you: were they getting people out of there so they won't hanging out after 4:00 on Sunday?
I'm sure some people were concluding their deals and such, but they did make announcements. They made announcements, final half hour, final 15 minutes. Please complete your transactions. It's now closed and all that. But obviously it's a big center, so people, are dragging their ass a little bit, on their way. If you were in the opposite corner, it was going to take you a few minutes to get out. I was already towards the front because I kind of knew I should have left by then.
Yeah, I left at, it was probably about 3. No, it was about 2, I guess. And you said you needed to start heading out in another hour.
Yeah, what happened with me is there were a couple guys I was talking to about some stuff, so I ended up going back and forth a little bit there in opposite sides. And
I saw you got a nice box full of some vintage there.
Yeah, I picked that up at the very end, and I had been talking to that guy earlier, so I got a pretty good deal in the final minutes, so I was happy with that. He had a box of slabs he was selling too, but he had sold those, which I was fine with.
So was
But
that the Hank Aaron you picked up? Was that the one you picked up? Did you pick that up at that table that we went to that I showed you? What I showed you there?
clean sweep. No, I did go back and look at that one, and that one was probably a little cleaner. The centering wasn't as good, but it was the one I ended up getting was quite a bit cheaper, so I went
Oh,
with
okay.
that.
Nothing wrong with that. Always can sell it and upgrade later. Because that
Yeah.
was going to be my next question. Is like for all four of you, when you go to a show like this, and I think we all pick up a little bit of, well, we all pick up what we can afford, what we can afford at the moment. Uh, and now we got Dave here, so I can pull him on. He could be in the middle. How
What's up?
do y'all ever buy something at the moment? What's up, Dave?
What up?
And go, I can always sell this and upgrade it later, or do you buy it and then thinking that that's one you're just going to keep, or do you ever think about when you buy something about upgrading it later? Does anybody think of that? Because we're more collectors here than we are sellers and upgraders. But do we ever think that? Joe, you go first.
Yeah, I've done that. Because if an item that's kind of tough to get, you know, you never know if you're going to be able to get another one. So buy that one, and then if something comes better, pick that up.
Hitman.
Yeah. I usually go. I don't go into it thinking that way. Usually when I buy, I buy. The only exception is, you know, I showed this on my video I just did is the 64 Kurt Flood, which is on my want list, but this one was so beautifully beaten I had to rescue it. So it doesn't really count because I'm going to get another one anyway. So, you know. But
Explain
no,
to us about.
thinking, oh, if I buy it, I can get a lower now, and I can upgrade it later. I don't usually do that. No.
So explain to us about rescuing. This was a great topic.
The rescue binder.
Yeah.
So I have a rescue binder, I you know, or a well-loved vintage binder, and it's just kind of my like kick in the pants. And you know, I think everybody's we all love the beautifully graded shark cards. We do. I mean, I love those, right? But sometimes I feel like these cards are kind of left behind, and they're like the misfit toys, right? And they tell stories. Crispy cards don't really tell stories. They may have sat in somebody's basement for 60 years and not touched. This thing was probably in a book or in a pocket or something. So it's just they're cool, and they're super cheap, and it's just fun. It's just fun. It's a fun little thing, and you just got to show them love, right? Yeah, that's how I look at it.
So Dave, do you I know most of your stuff is you looking for autos and things like that. Do you ever purchase in mind of thinking you could upgrade later or
No, I think I need the card. That's number one priority. Now, if I find one the right price, whatever grade I feel is comfortable doing, I usually buy it with the intention of that's the card I'm going to have. Now, later when I'm doing the same kind of searches, I may come on like one that's a little higher grade, but we're talking about like PSA 8s to 9s or 7s to 7 to 8s. Then I might be like, okay, maybe if I get this cheap enough, I can upgrade and I can sell my other one and still make most of the money back. So it's more of a, while I'm looking, I might think about upgrading on something I already have, but not when I'm purchasing the initial one.
Right. How about you, Micah? Do you ever?
I mean, I will. I think of that way. I think in those terms with certain wax products and stuff sometimes and stuff like that. But I don't, when I'm buying stuff for my collection, Phillies wise, that's not what I'm thinking. But also if I get stuff at the right price, and it's a rare enough item, I will buy it and be like, I can always compare it. And in terms of the Aaron, it was one of those things I was like, all right, I'm definitely going to get it. I'm not going to necessarily seek out like, oh, I got to get another one. But if I can find an SGC that looks better, in my opinion, that's the same grade and I can get it a little cheaper and the PSA one has more monetary value on the market, I would certainly do that.
That's good job, Battery, for doing that. Yeah, I'm more of that way too, where if I see something, it's more like it's what I can afford. You know, I can tell my evolution of my growing up from over the last 20 years that what I can afford has definitely changed. But I have cards 20, 30 years ago that was, I couldn't buy. I have a Johnny Bench that I paid for, but it's a 7. I probably would have a tough time buying that card right now. But when I bought it, it was a lot cheaper then, and I just bought it at the right time to get that 7. But I don't really think about upgrading. It's more about what I can afford at the time, and then it's in my PC, and it's hard to get rid of it at that
Yeah,
time.
I would say I'm not opposed to upgrading certain items, but
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not one that's there seeking like, oh, I gotta upgrade this. I gotta get a 1.5 instead of a 1, then I gotta get a 2. Like upgrading in vintage too. Like you can have a 3 and you can upgrade it by getting a 2 because it might actually look better.
Yeah,
that's true.
I picked up a Campy that was, I showed everybody a 3.5, and it's a beautiful, beautiful copy. I don't think I would trade that for anything else, especially the price I paid for it.
Now I do have so when I'm keeping track of my cards, I'll keep track and actually have say it's a raw copy. I'll put raw with a little thing and put up, so I know when I'm going through stuff I need. If I see that up on one of the cards I have, I know I want to upgrade that card. So I kind of keep it in my mind while I'm going through some stuff. Like maybe a card that comes out of if it's a modern card, comes out of a pack, but corner's a little bit dinged. That's something I may go, okay, I need to upgrade this at some point. But it's not fully needed to,
Yeah, this is a great point by Battery. He's pickier picking up Hank Aaron than he is Bob Horner, and that I can see what he's saying. I'm probably the same way without even really thinking about it. And speak. I think this year's National missed an opportunity on selling shirts, man. Because me and Mike O were thinking, who could I have at 44? And that was, because they had Jackie Robinson at 42. I think they missed a big opportunity there. From my untrained eyes, just from videos, it seems like once you get to the 4s and 5s, the grade jump seems very narrow. It can, I was looking at some vintage where a 4 and 5 was kind of big because the difference between a 10 and a 1 is huge. What's up, Clay? My next question is, we've got kind of it was great in the house because we had a diverse, all of us stayed in the house, plus Fabian, plus Ed, Wesker Griff. And we had Big Smooth come over quite a bit too and hang out, but he was staying somewhere else. So we had a pretty good diverse group. I mean, we had TTMers, we had guys that collect 5-star, we had hockey, Phillies, a smart Phillies collector, and we had Ed. Then we, and we had, it was fun watching the dynamic there. But here's my question: did y'all feel? Because I made this comment to Brad, who's in the chat, and I think I even brought it up one night with y'all. But it was so late by the time we got back to the house. It felt like to me this was one of the most diverse shows I've been to for a national or any card show. It was a little bit of everything. If you were looking for it, seemed to be there. Maybe not the exact card you were looking for, but if you were looking for WNBA, it was there. Soccer, there. I saw what's the one with the flat cricket. Boxing was everywhere, especially vintage boxing, vintage sport, non-TCG. It was pretty good. Presidents. This was a very fun, even if I couldn't have took enough money to buy all the stuff I wanted. I know that just from everything that's there. And Brad said, yep, very good mixture. He had a killer time there. So did everybody really find what they were looking for, the niche or whatever? I'll start with Hitman on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I have a very large want list, and one of my goals was to at least get a couple of things off my want list. You know, it ranges from pretty high priced dollar cards down to, you know, easy to get cards in terms of, you know, finances. But I thought it was I mean, yeah, you could find anything really. I was pretty blown away how diversified it was. Yeah, man, it was great. I was able to do a little bit of everything. You know, I was able to get some stuff off.
And we lost him.
Hitman, we loved you while we had you. Dave, how about you?
Yeah, I had no problems. Well, besides the one specific card, I had really no problems finding plenty of stuff for my PCs. I mean, I also collect multiple things, multiple sports. So it was just kind of once I decided to get kind of specific on my needs, then I can, that was the only thing I had to try to find the one specific card. Other than that, it was pretty easy. I mean, let's see, I found, Mets uniform, autographs for Pedro and Ricky Henderson. I got some press steals I needed. There's plenty of vintage out there if I decide to go that route. Plenty of modern, I want to go that route. Plenty of football if I want to go that route. Plenty of basketball if I want to go that route. Wrestling. All the different things I would be collecting was there. So,
are you ready, Hitman? All right. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way, and I wanted to. There's nothing I could do. You're already left. But did you see the table and how to those back pages? I did see some Beethovens, but you said as needed. Because I didn't tell you. I saw a lot of like those 1900 musicians or conductors, whatever you want to call it. But over by the autograph, right across from the autograph area, Dave, there was a place that was just a table of nothing but on-card autos, in-person autos. Did you see that at all?
I'm sure I did.
Okay,
I mean, I walked that whole floor. I don't think I missed a table. If I did, it was like I just must have missed part of my route or something.
I picked up a bunch of New York Mets stuff from 60s, 70s, and 80s there. Sitting next to nothing. It was a very good table. And they were on card. I know you're looking for more like 5-star and things.
Yeah, I'm more of the certified autographs.
Yeah.
I think the only time I really buy non-certified autos is if the player just doesn't have a card.
Right.
Or if he does, it's kind of just ugly. I just don't want it.
Right.
Stuff like I think a couple of years ago I bought Jack McDowell in a Yankees uniform. You don't see that on any products.
Right.
Now we have the Archive Signature Series. That kind of helps a little bit with it. But just stuff like that where, Brett Saber hanging in a Mets. I don't think I've seen a Mets autograph of him.
Yeah.
So I have one that's Mackie Sasser for a good example of a guy I really liked growing up. And he's not going to have any certified autos. So you got to go that
There was a ton of them at that table. Not certified, but he had a lot of on-card Mackie Sasser.
Yeah, and that's why I bought it before. I bought one before. I have one. Because I had to go get that rare. You don't see that. I mean, not rare because he probably signs a shit ton, but
yeah, we kind of know that, Lou Rock. Thanks for the break.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Yeah. Here we're gonna go to Joe, who is a hockey collector mainly, but he collects other stuff as well. Did you have any luck? And I know what the answer is, but for good TV, like what? How would your search?
I saw more hockey there than I expected, but it wasn't really the variety.
Was it the expo?
Yeah, like what I'm used to at that show. So it's hard to compare to that.
Right.
But yeah, I was able to find some stuff. And
you got a baseball card.
I did get a baseball card. My first baseball slab.
Call out Mike Fabian, East Coast East. East
Eastern
Coast,
Connecticut sports cards.
Eastern Connecticut sports cards. Good, it's a mouthful. That's why I just call him Fabian. Helped you out with that.
He did.
Nice card. Love that you got that. Made a couple of running out the door pickups of
I
hockey
did.
players.
Yeah, I forgot about those.
Gotta love the very last second pickups.
Yeah, those last second ones. So that was a fun time there, and that was how we all worked together. I have a large collection, larger than like how I collect, not a large collection of stuff. But I'm very all over the place, and I'm like Hitman. I kind of was picking up a little bit for everything. Even started some new stuff, I did very well on a couple of new PCs that I started and that I knew I was going to start at this show, and I've been wanting to start. So awesome. How about you, Mike? How did you fare in pre-war Philly stuff and things like that?
Well, it's always awesome. So,
Yes,
I mean, the show is great. Just checking everything out, and I try to be patient, but obviously, I look for some stuff that you're going to see once and then maybe not see again. And honestly, like, I don't know how to phrase it because I wasn't disappointed in the show, but for the first couple of days, I was kind of like, "Huh, this is probably the least amount of choices I've ever seen at a national in terms of the stuff that I was clearly looking for." But as the show went on, I would finally find some stuff. So in the end, it was pretty solid as usual.
I was with you with some of those pickups, which I love to watch. You getting that stuff and getting from you your mindset on how that, because I just don't have players or stuff. I'm starting to. I got one now that I picked up some stuff for, but
and it's not even necessarily the show, I should say. Like, there was less that wowed me for what I was specifically looking for, but also I'm at a point where now, after doing this for the last several nationals and getting some stuff from some of the auction houses, there's a little less I need. So we were at the guy who had the Longstreet card you were looking at.
Yeah,
he told us too. He's like, I'm a collector. He's an older collector, so he will sell some stuff. But he's like, I think he kind of goes there because he's in on the national from way back when, and he's not one of the guys way up front who is a nasty, miserable human being. This guy's like a really nice dude.
he was talking to us. We stayed there for a good while talking.
And he's there to sell some cards, but he had the one that's just awesome. It's a really rare issue, but not a big name player. But it's like it's close to a $5,000 card, so it's something that I look at. And it was a great image and such, but like I couldn't justify it,
He had some higher graded pre-war stuff too.
Yeah, and that specific card it's one of those examples where it's a little too nice. It looks great, but it's like, yeah, I'd rather it be half the condition and half the price.
Yeah.
And then I had another guy who had some cards that are just great, but you're talking about cards that it's going to have to be a very special occasion to buy it. Some of the prices.
I think I'm going to keep that. I made a note of that Longstreet, and the next national, I'm going to check it out, see if I can't go 2 years in a row walking away from a card and then the next national buying it from the same person.
We doing a little show and tell? I know we're all going to do our own videos. You had mentioned that. I have two items to show you, but we'll do it.
I want to kind of get that a little bit. I want to kind of go over a feeling of the show. As you can tell, we talked a lot before this. My next thing is we talked about it at night. We talked about it on the show. We talked about it in text in our group chat. Some of the negatives that people are pointing out, maybe turning on it. To me, the negatives were way outweighed by the positives in this year. Not like as much as the heat or some other things last year. But there was people that got sick in there, but a lot of that probably sounded like it was just a lack of hydration and eating. but there was lines for the bathroom, which I think could be fixed. Also, what place doesn't have lines for bathrooms? I mean, you're not going to the grocery store or the mall. This is an event, just like going to a baseball game or something like that. Also, I felt for people that were waiting in those lines. I just made a longer walk and had a VIP. You can go down the stairs to the back at any time and go to the bathroom there. But the food, again, we kind of knew we were walking into that. And no, not people don't go to the National, but I think the biggest thing, and I think it's just a lot of people, and I don't know what facility for food or other things will be able to keep up with that. Does anybody have any idea of that? Or I know what I did. I packed my lunch every day. So
that was one of the hits of the show. I heard a lot of people.
PB&Js, man. Yeah.
A lot of people with compliments for the Wonder Bread, the old vintage Wonder Bread Tupperware container.
You should try to flip that thing, Scott.
Oh, that thing! That's my vintage. That's yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. So they should open both sides, and they probably could have had food trucks.
What's up, Robert?
On the outside too, and that's what I would have done. Just maybe food trucks on, not when they had the little roundabout, but like on the other side. Just put them right there by the exit. Put about 10 food trucks in there. I think they probably would have made a lot more money.
Yeah, put some tables out there.
Yeah, maybe even some of those. It might even be worth it if they were to have it there again to get some of the high end porta potties. You have the big ones that they have the water and stuff like that. Not the ones where you'd be roasting in and that type of stuff. But listen, I think it's very fair to criticize some of the issues because they were absolutely real issues. But in no way did that ruin the experience for me. Like the parking, especially Wednesday night, was the worst. And I get it because it's only open from 4 to 8. Maybe they should have been open a little more, maybe even a little later. I don't know. I know the dealers are anxious to get the hell out of there. But being only 4 to 8, I don't think that works anymore. Maybe it works for Chicago because there's so much walking. But that's just too short of a time because everyone's going to try and get there at 4. And people who sneak in at 5 and 6, because a lot of people want to do the preview to kind of get their feet wet.
What's up, Chris?
Everyone's going to leave at 8. That's not a day where people are going to file out throughout the day. And there were people who legitimately were caught in traffic going out the left side for an hour and a half. Thankfully, the brains that we had all together, our collective intelligence led us to sneak out the other side. So we were caught in 15 minutes of traffic. But the parking was an issue.
A little late, and we had to park in the back so we could see we can get out that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was good we were late.
Yeah, and then we took our time leaving, so it all kind of worked out for us.
And I will say too that all the problems that Nashville had this year doesn't compare to the no AC in Chicago.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll take that.
And the parking deck that only had the 4 elevators working. They didn't have half the parking deck open until Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
They had trash cans overflowing everywhere. Food ran out. They were having issues left and right in Chicago.
No national is perfect, but whatever's most recent is going to be in people's mind. So I know Chicago, maybe not every single person experiences it because there are so many people that walk right out or walk right to the hotel. This one, obviously the parking, if you attended that show, even the dealers knew how bad the parking was.
Yeah.
The food, the same thing. It was just in your face. Even I had no intention of buying any food at that place. I brought some snacks, but I could see it. It was smacking my face every time I turned around. I saw the lines around the building. Same thing with the bathroom, whether you had to go or not. There were ways to kind of get around that, but it was, there's definitely criticisms that are very fair, but that I thought the setup, the way things were spread out, the way they had the corporate stuff in the back of those two ends kind of sorted, I thought was really good. I thought the variety of tables were set up. I thought the aisles were wide enough yes, there were times where you get too many deals going on and you can't see a display case, especially when you have these selfish sons of bitches who put their freaking cases on the case and then they spread their shit all over the other showcase. And it's like, all right, now you're blocking 2 showcases. I can't see anything. That kind of stuff. That happens at every show. But I thought overall it was really good. I've heard some people criticizing Cleveland, and I'm like, oh, this is dirty. This was unsafe. Like, I know there were some issues with some hotels. To me, that area was nice. Like, and there were plenty of restaurants around. You're not going to run out during the show necessarily, but plenty of places to spread out and hang out afterwards.
We talked about it a little bit before. It's a little bit better that it's spread out, so not everybody's on top of each other. You can walk. You're not waiting 2 hours to get a table at a restaurant or something like that. You know, you could go to a restaurant and get right in.
Yeah, there were choices. There were supermarkets, right. There were restaurants, fast 100%. Food places.
It's just we've been going to them for, I know this is my 8th and y'all have been 10, stuff like that. So we can still, what's up, Filmington? We know how it was before it got crazy. The last time it was in Cleveland, it just didn't, we didn't have these issues. It was still a bathroom issue, but I just went downstairs in the back.
Yeah, I think the bathroom thing is just, they're older. They could use multiples and stuff, and it's downstairs. So also sometimes the line was probably extended more than it had to be because it did move quick. But you had people playing on their phones and not realizing like they can move down 5 steps and things like that.
The good thing was like what Mike said, wide aisles, easy to move around, people willing to help you that works there. They were keeping the bathrooms clean. They were keeping them stocked from what I could see. I love the downstairs. If you were lucky enough to have could afford a VIP pass, it was pleasant downstairs. You can go sit down, get away from things, eat. There
Maybe
was
find free cards just sitting there.
Find free cards sitting on the table, which was kind of old school to me. I didn't see that the last 2 shows. I used to see them in the older shows that I went to, I'm sure. Now, if there is somebody in the know, if we still got Eric here in the side or somebody else that knows a little bit more personable, because we talked about this as well, did they make the corporate people be a little bit bigger in some of those stances and have a little bit of a presence there than just sitting there and handing out things and saying hi to people? Because eBay had a stage. Heritage was smaller but more compact, and they were giving out cards, which me and Mike got on Sunday.
Go Power Rangers.
Right. Everything looked, and then they had some other places that were a little bit smaller, but they were more interactive. What's up, Mookie? Great meeting you, brother. It was my first national, and it was like heaven to me. I just wanted a Ferris wheel ride, but I'll live. Right. It was just because the guy, when I went yesterday to get my autographs that I was waiting for a weekend, the guy at TriStar was bitching they had a third of the space as they usually do in the back. I was just like, but the way he said they got around it worked for them. They brought stuff out for Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. So it seemed like they knew what they were doing. I mean, it's not like it's their first show. I did feel like it was a few less dealers, but do you need 1 million dealers? I mean,
there were 50 less dealers, I believe. And I could tell just from walking the show the last few years, just seeing a little less. I mean, I'll take as many as I can just to have a little extra variety. Maybe one of those guys has one of the cards I want, but it's not a killer for me.
Right. Because
I thought the show itself and the way it was set up and the way it was organized made it feel less kind of disorganized and overwhelming. Like the show itself and the amount of people still overwhelming. The size and scope is always going to overwhelm you to a degree, no matter how many times you've done it. But this year I thought was a little less so.
Yeah, and I think like obviously I think in Chicago they decided to make it bigger towards the end, and they just started throwing tables where they could throw tables. Let's fit let's fit this table here. Let's
So disorganized.
let's throw SGC in the back here and just run all these tables. There's just they kind of just made it bigger
Right.
than they were planning on doing it. Now this year they had a whole year to get it right, and I think they did a pretty good job of where they placed everybody, especially all the.
It made sense too. Like what corporate was together would made sense.
Yeah.
The flow last year didn't make sense. This year it made a ton of sense.
Yeah, because I said they threw tables where they could throw them.
Right. That's a great point. That was awesome.
If somebody could have like stand on the roof, they would have put a table upside down in Chicago up there. Just they could.
Right.
Just put them up there.
And I have seen an early plan in Chicago, and it looks like they're flipping it and using the side that the autographs were in as the main section next year instead of what's always been the main section. Yeah, I saw it, Brad, before this national. Will national ever go back to Cleveland? I say no. I never say never. Well, Card Hunter, I think it will because they get it for such a cheap price.
I'd like to know too the new convention center they built. I'm sure we could do 2 minutes worth of research, but is that new one? Is it bigger? I don't know.
What, in Cleveland?
Yeah, I believe they built a new one downtown, right? Or maybe they're still in the process of it.
No, they got one downtown.
May not be as cheap.
Yeah, it's also not nearly as big as that one. I think that's kind of like a regular inner city small one.
This one just says.
But overall, I mean, everybody. I had a great time at the show with all that going on. I thought it was, I thought Cleveland did okay. This 2028, they're looking for a different location. I wouldn't mind it, Robert. All of us have talked about it, that it's part of the fun is going to a different city to go to it. So what I asked y'all to do tonight was bring a couple of items on to talk about, not necessarily your highest price card or anything, but what couple of items. Hey, Ryan, what's up, brother? Looked like a great time and a nice place you guys stayed at. Yeah, it was good.
Check out all the videos. If you want to see the Airbnb, we got a video up there.
Mike O's channel. Mike O did a great job of covering a lot of stuff this week. His media background came into effect, it looked like.
Could have done a little more, but we all fall in that. We always fall in that same trap where it's hard to balance having a good time.
About that first. So I made this the National Hangover is the name of this. It does feel like I have a hangover today. My body hurts.
Sure does.
Slow. I woke up with a headache. Everybody else feeling? I know Joe, he just runs around all day, but how do y'all feel overall? Anybody?
I beat. I go back to work. I'm done.
Yes, I went back to work today. I was off yesterday, and obviously I left Saturday, so I had a pretty good day and a half of recovery. But I was really tired. Like last night, I finally got some good sleep, I think. So,
how about you, Joe? How are you feeling, young man?
I feel fine. I'm still on vacation, so that helps.
Yeah, so am I until Wednesday. So, but I was still hurting today. How are you feeling, Mike?
Which one, me?
Yeah, Mike.
I'm exhausted. I left too late. Very predictable that I stayed till they throw us out. And then there were a couple of complications on my ride home in terms of getting backed up. So I left, 4:30, and originally when I popped it in the GPS, said 10:30 was the estimate. I got home at 2 a.m. I probably got up by, I went to bed. It was well after 3. I was up by 6. Brought back my rental car. So
what's up, Eugene?
I may have dozed off for a little bit right before this show. So that might have set me back. And I'm now still in the process of actually unpacking. I unpacked all my clothes and stuff, but the cards and stuff I just started pulling out. So I had to catch up on other work today. So yeah, I feel I feel it, and I'm going to feel it for a few days, I think, because I'm going to have to keep busy.
Yeah, I'm off till Wednesday. I wanted an extra day just in case I wanted to take a slow road home or something like that. But I made it home last night myself to get to my bed last night. But like I was saying, so I asked each of y'all to bring a couple items over on tonight to just so we can, why we go to the show, why do we hang out with friends, without, getting too emo, as Carlos would say.
Emo Scott 35.
That's right. Dave, do you want to start off? Do you have a couple of items that, you picked up that were more on, however?
Yeah, I mean, I picked it. So I'm just going with the two Mets, because the Pedro Martinez.
Yes, you're very happy with that one.
I've been looking for try to get a Pedro now for a while in a Mets uniform, just never pulled the trigger. And then I'm going to say the big one would be the Ricky.
Yeah, you were happy with Ricky.
Like, he's just not in a Mets uniform on anything. You'll see Pedro in a bunch, but Ricky Henderson, I think he had obviously this Diamond Icons. He also had Dynasty, which is ridiculously expensive, and then he has like a Top Strata in a Mets uniform. I think before that's like 2010 Tribute, but I didn't really like that card.
Right.
So for me to find this Diamond Icons, I'm pretty happy with those two.
That's congratulations. 2 more Mets to put in for next year's shorts.
Yep. Well, they'll be going on display too, probably. At least the Ricky will be.
Well, that's good. That's good. Joe, how about you? You got a couple for us?
Yeah, I got a couple. The first one is my first baseball slab that you guys mentioned earlier. Mike Fabian helped me out, got me a deal. Childhood card. I've never owned this before. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So 35 years later.
All-time classic there.
Yeah. And the other one was part of my hockey collection. I couldn't believe the condition of this. You can't really see it, but it's a 1951 Red Kelly rookie, and it's graded a PSA 1, and that's because these are blank backs, so there's some paper loss at the bottom. So we took it down all. Yeah, I took it. So let's see. Can you see that? And then on the back, you can kind of see it right there. But a quarter of the paper is missing on the back.
Yeah, but that's the back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I was really excited. The price was amazing on this.
Congratulations on that, man. Beautiful card. Lucky, like I said, we got baseball, hockey, Hitman 23. Mike, you're up.
All right, so I'm gonna stick to my my main PCs. First is I'm gonna show my namesake for my channel. Didn't expect to find this, but it's pretty cool. It's this French 4x6 Don Mattingly. I thought that was really cool and never seen that. And even P-Daz said he never saw one. So I thought that was great. The whole back is in French. And I would love to, if they had this in a full sheet with 3 other players, I would love to have gotten that, but there was no way I was going to get that on a plane and not get it ruined. So I didn't get that. So I got the single. That's awesome. And I think everybody's seen this already, but I love it so much. This was completely unexpected. And when I saw it, I just, my heart skipped a beat. So I got this mini helmet signed by John Riggins, MVP of Super Bowl 17. Just absolutely love this piece. It's going to be one of the centerpieces of my collection. Didn't have a Riggins auto, and I was just really excited to add that, and it, for a lot less than I thought it would be. So there's a certificate of authenticity, and it's just, just a great piece. I love this.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, great helmet, great signature, great display case, nameplate. It's got the works.
It's definitely cool.
That is beautiful.
That's what I love. Sometimes you don't expect to find something. It just was there. So.
Yeah, I picked up a lot of cool stuff for sure. And I showed most of it off in my daily recaps, but I will be showing them off again in my recap in the next few days. But 2 things I wanted to show off. One, this was actually before the National.
Oh.
Hitman sent a picture of this. Well, not for tonight because tonight he got rocked by the Yankees, unfortunately. But Zach Wheeler, team color parallel.
I've seen
So
the
I don't
writing.
even know how it came up. I don't even remember how we started talking, but Mike had said, "Hey, do you need this? Do you have it?" I said, "I don't have it." He said, "You do now." And next thing you know, the conversation started. And before you know it, that kind of changed the course of the national, at least for Mike and really for us, as that's what kind of led to Mike staying with us. So that was pretty cool.
Did you have anything else? Is that it?
Yeah, and the other thing is, so we all have our own favorite grading companies, right? Like at this point in time, I love dealing with SGC. I love their slabs. I love their slabs for vintage. I'll still buy PSA, but I just don't care to deal with them one on one too much anymore. And CGC, they're a strong thing as well. Great slabs, great way to grade. Tag to me has always been a little bit of a joke. I've never seen them in a display case or anything, and their prices are kind of high. I will say they did something right by doing customs, and I'd seen a lot of people get them done. Baseball Collector, those back pages, several others, and it was a lot of popularity. It's the best thing they ever did. Custom cards and custom slabs. Now I
That is
decided for the heck of it to get a couple for myself. This is my least favorite one I got done. I got 3 others done for family members, but
mm-hmm.
I'm not going to share them on here, but like Tag did that right. So that could be a cool gift going forward. If you have, some youngsters in your life or just other card enthusiasts, you just get a photo. I know they're doing it now online, so you can order them online and they'll ship stuff to you, but they were doing that on site. And I thought that was like, to me, like, wow, I can see your slab. Like I wouldn't be opposed to buying a few Tag slabs. I ain't gonna pay a whole lot for them because
Well, it was a good way
if
to
you're
get
great,
that product.
if you're grading cards, you should probably be grading stuff that was manufactured before 1996. But
right.
at the very least, they could bounce into the custom world.
Eric, you're right. If they got this, that's $40 they won't get before. I can tell you that.
And like there was like a lot of enthusiasm for it. Like there were a lot of people that were doing it, and everyone was like blown away by it. They look really cool. They were really well done. So
yeah, they could
I
have
know
robot away and just done that.
Yeah, the hell with the robot, man. Sell that stuff for scrap and invest in a few more custom things. But and they were all cool to deal with and stuff too. Like we talked about, most of the dealers were really pleasant. They were absolutely working with you in most cases. There's some cards they're not going to have a lot of room on, and it's understandable. And why would you? You're not going to give away certain cards, but for the most part, I thought it was all pleasant. Scott, you and I had a really great conversation with SGC for quite a while there on Sunday. CGC dealt with them. They were really good as well. And like the Tag people were super nice, super helpful with it. So, we're very easy to criticize the issues at the show. We're very quick to criticize companies when they make mistakes. So I think it's worth, giving them a shout out when they actually do something really well. And like they got them done pretty quickly as well and such.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely get one after the show. I wanted to go over there Sunday, but I just didn't get over there.
The show's so big, it's hard to do everything. It really is.
Yeah. So
one last thought. I get it. And there's times people have things to do. You got family stuff going on, but like, if you can do the whole show, I don't know how you can get burned out. I know some people do. I know Eric, who's watching, is kind of like me. You like to get in as soon as possible. And as the show's winding down, you're like, damn, got to go. And then eventually they're like, all right, get the hell out of here. The show's over. Right. But there's so much to see and so much to do. It's really hard to do everything. I know there were things I wanted to do. There were people I wanted to see that you just run out of time,
Of the new side, the bright side, whatever. I didn't really get to see great, but I did get to see a lot of it on Sunday because it was just a smaller space than the other side for dealers, not for, the dealer side. I have a couple of things. Mine is more story driven. Y'all had great stories as well. My first one is Thursday night at the get together. Garrett Card Cutter meets us outside. what a guy. I've heard that he's such a nice guy. Last year, he talked a little bit, but I was just in pain. But this year, I mean, he meets me outside and gives me this Tom Glavine with this patch, 5-star. Just totally blew me away. He was on my channel the last couple weeks ago. He was a great guest. Had a lot of talk. We could have probably went longer. He said he told me Saturday on the way out I could go longer than an hour, so don't be afraid to. And then this last one actually came from Ed Westergriff, and I know it was a joke, but it's a joke because all these guys, we listen to each other more than just what cards we're doing in life and everything else. This one meant so much to me. I took my national cover thing that we got from that one card company and put it on there. So my Winnie the Pooh in a tin. That's a childhood thing, and I don't know he knows how much that means to me as a child. Love Winnie the Pooh. Had all the plushies or whatever you want to call them, and I'm trying to get some more of that back. I miss my Winnie the Pooh, so that meant a lot to me, and everything that I got from everyone that kind of represents the stuff we were giving each other at the house, the stuff people were giving each other at the show. It kind of represents all of that for me. And that to me, I started 2 PCs, huge, and I'll talk about that Wednesday. And Saturday, I'll tie mine up on a bow. I don't want to say this was my favorite show. I think my favorite show was a few years back at Chicago. The first time I really got involved with the community, took me to a different level. But it was a very good show. I have no problems where I wouldn't go back to Cleveland again. I said it before, even Atlantic City. They do it in Atlantic City, we're going to bitch, moan, whatever, but we'll go. It's just that simple. So, any last thoughts or memories, anybody, for this year? I was overblown with community this year at the show. But any other thoughts from anybody else before we take off tonight?
For me, I think for people that just say I'm not going to the national, and I think they need to just shut up and come to the national. That's it. They don't know. If you haven't been to the national, hanging out with your friends, the show's cool, but like we talk about, just the hangouts and seeing everybody, that's what makes it special. And I think that if you don't take part in that in your lifetime, you're missing out big time.
Yeah, just like especially being able to hang out at the house and all that. There's, you can hang out in small groups or big groups.
Right. And I mean, it's really elevated me getting to know all you guys. I told Hitman, on his way home, I've met him before. I've talked to him at a show, but now I know Mike a little bit better. I don't know Hitman. I know Hitman, but now I know Mike a little bit better. And that means more to me than anything that I picked up.
Absolutely.
Joe, I got to hang out with Joe last year, but inviting him this year to make sure he could go with us. That was huge. Joe got to be, he don't make videos, but man, was he welcomed into everything that everybody was meeting him and talking to him and everything. So, I mean, what did you think, Joe, of that? I mean,
yeah, I had a lot of fun at the house with you guys.
Yeah.
It was good times.
Yeah. And I just thought it was very, very inclusive, where our channels can be exclusive a lot of times. Our little groups can be exclusive. But if this show, we were very inclusive. The Thursday night, even the Friday night. The Friday night thing was a little bit of I don't know if Philmington is still here. Love you, Phil. One of my best flippers that I know. great guy, and I was a little hurt for him and for Mike and for Silver Jacket Five that they didn't get a better turnout at their show. Um, Paul said, "I thought Joe was on MySpace. He might be, but that was a little bit of a letdown. But I mean, you make of it what you want to make of it.
More room for strong conversations. Few people I got to talk to for the first time in a few years there for an extended period of time. A couple people that I had just the day before met for the first time in person got to have longer conversations. So there's always positives in everything.
Yeah. So one of those guys started following me, and we communicated a little bit on my comments and section. I think we're talking about the same person. So that could just build on another friendship. Building that Rolodex, as I always said. I definitely built a Rolodex. I mean, I hung out with four soft corners quite a bit. Got his phone number. I got to meet Jason in person, Mr. Fisherbike.
7 years, man.
Our
I can't believe.
hero.
I was like blown away when I realized it had been 7 years since he made it out to a national.
Well,
Crazy.
Right.
So here's for me with just talking about with Jason and Aaron Davis, guys that I've interacted with now for 10 years, maybe even 11, depending on when we first started, whatever. But I've never met those two. As long as I've been on YouTube. So that, meeting these two old school YouTubers that I've dealt with for 11 years for the first time is awesome.
Right.
Was Jason come out in the year you didn't make it out?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that. That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, and like even that, so me and Jason and Michael Fabian and Josh Reynolds, we were on a group text like we are now for several years leading up to that national. So me and Jason, we were good card buddies forever.
Yeah.
And then he got to come, I didn't get to come, and then he missed 7 years in a row, and so it was awesome meeting him for the first time, and
Yeah, and he's awesome to be around. Just that like upbeat personality and all that, the excitement, and picking out nice stuff and sharing it with us. Awesome.
I am a little disappointed though that he didn't get drunk enough to race somebody like Lawrence Taylor again. But
yeah,
I got to miss that the first time. But
right, I've heard the story enough, like I've been there, but I was there. I talked to Nate for a little bit on Sunday. That's the first time I really got to talk to Nate. I mean, it was so loose in there on Sunday. You could just have casual conversation.
I mean, honestly, last year was really good on Sunday. This year, Sunday, I think I said it in my recap. There was part of it that I loved and part of it I hated. I hated that so many of you guys had to leave, so we couldn't interact and hang out. But like, it was so like the phone worked and it was easy to park and such, and like. It was so easy to walk up. Yeah, it wasn't overly loud, and you could like see stuff and buy stuff, and there was still plenty of stuff. Like I found a lot of awesome stuff. Like it was great.
Yeah, that was that Sunday. Like I said, I think that was the quietest Sunday I've ever been to. I think that was my fourth one that I've been to on a Sunday. Because once I went that first time, I was like, I got to go now. Because if you can adjust it to where you go a day later and miss Wednesday or Thursday, don't really want to miss Thursday. At least come in for the get together, and then go through Sunday. That's the best plan. I think.
Maybe even a little less hectic getting to the airport Monday morning. I don't know. I don't know enough about the flights.
I mean, Eric said it was a mellow Sunday. That's a good way to put it.
It's easy to say your goodbye. Like you could meet up with a few people, say goodbye, or if you see them in passing, like, hey, have a safe trip back. And, you're not sitting there spending an hour trying to find them in a small area. I don't know. It was a fun day. I liked it.
Yeah, I wish I could have spent more time on the floor. I decided to get the soccer girls, women, Mia Hamm and Chastain's autos. I got Corey Snyder auto on a freebie. I was going to get Lily, but it was just taking so long. He had to stop. He's an older fella. The free one for me. So it wasn't, all I did was buy an 8x10. I was out $6, but I got a nice 8x10 of Bob Lilly. I got a bottle Lily. I got autographs of him already, so it wasn't a big deal. So I still bought stuff around there though. Like I said, I found that table with all the in-person autographs, and I just went kind of hog wild over there and found some value boxes and picked up a couple more. I think I picked up my first Pete and only Pete Alonso of the whole show out of value box.
You got too many, man.
Yeah, well,
it gets tougher to find them.
Like we said, I didn't go there for more. I could get that anytime I want. Pete Alonso's on so many things. I am very picky on my vintage. I'm more comfortable buying vintage now in the last 5 years.
11 to 4.
So and I can tell everybody I started a Campanella run and Cochrane, which some of the Cochranes are getting graded. So I'll have those back in a few weeks, and very excited. And I had a lot of help from my friends on that. Also, let me know where the Pete's and David Wrights were.
And that's another thing I don't know if we touched on, but just real quick. If you got friends in the hobby and you got friends at the show, that can even, I know Scott and I did it a couple times where met up at a table, found a good table with a good selection of stuff that we both were interested in, bundle it up, kind of get that little small extra discount by doing a bigger bundle and then kind of just breaking it up. So we both kind of saved a few extra dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. And we did that Saturday and Sunday, kind of worked in our favor.
Yeah.
So if anybody has anything else to add or whatever, I just like to put a bow on this one, and I'll do my pickups video myself Wednesday, and I'll probably talk more personally on Saturday on the show to put a bow on it. So Joe, have you posted any pictures on your Instagram of the weekend or of your cards?
Not yet.
Okay. I know Mike has been posting pictures. He's been busy beaver. Got some videos up.
Trying to post a few things on that old Instagram thing if I can.
And Hitman, you said you did your video today?
I did one yesterday. I did one today. It's definitely going to be a multi-part video series for sure.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm always when we're in the house and I get to see everybody, it's still a surprise when I watch those videos because I'm like, I didn't see that. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing Dave's Ricky Henderson, so it was always a surprise.
He brought it right over to me right after he bought it. And then I saw it that night again.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Pedro. It's cool though. It's fun. Like that's the thing. The National has concluded. But in a way, it's only just begun because of all the travel. Like I will be watching national videos for the next week plus.
Oh, 100%.
I'm gonna be putting stuff on, having it play while I'm working on stuff, and then obviously some of the ones I really, really want to see, like I'm gonna watch when I have a little more time to focus. And it's awesome. It's great to see the cards, even if you've seen them, and then hear the stories behind them, hear the passion in people's voices.
That's right, Brad.
All of that is super amazing. And my final thought is, hey, our Airbnb was awesome. So shout out to Mike, Eastern Connecticut Sports Cards, for booking that. I mean, it was great. We had 7 people and we weren't even remotely overcrowded. It was, we had plenty of room to move and such. No bed sharing. I mean, the only thing I'll say is if you're running an Airbnb, I highly recommend you have a plunger in your bathroom. But outside of that, everything was great.
I did have to go pick one up, not for me, but maybe the guy that's holding one now.
I wasn't going to pass out any names. I was just giving a recommendation.
Dave,
I'll throw myself right under the bus, man. No problem.
Dave, have you done any videos yet for?
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Dude, I haven't watched anybody's. I watched Mike's on the way home. That's it.
Yeah, I did my national recap. I think Saturday night, I did Saturday night, and then it got uploaded. Really, I did like really late, so probably like midnight. So yeah, it was pretty much all day yesterday and today.
Okay. Well, we're gonna leave it that. So thank y'all for coming on, watch it tonight. I know it was an oddball Monday night. I didn't get home until after 11. I almost did a short video on the road from, but I was very tired and I was just concentrating on getting home, and that was it. So, like, share, tell a friend. Please comment if when you watch this later. I know a lot of people like found out that more people watch this driving to work on the next day than before. And I want to thank y'all again. All the kind words I got from my peers and people that I met that watched the channel at the show. Thank y'all for coming up and with the kind words. I really do appreciate it. So until next time, see ya.